Ho, 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 ho. Well, it is Tuesday. Two for Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Too Stupid Tuesday. Oh, it can be whatever Tuesday you need it to be, folks. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Sorry about the Zero Dark 30. Had a little bit of a microphone issue. But we're definitely live here. Man says we're good. We're good. Okay, we're good on the sound. Anyways, folks, lots going on. I know you're aware. We've got domestic issues, international issues. We got fucking aliens all over the place running around. We got illegal aliens from south of the border, north of the border, east, west, and straight up, I guess, from outer space. Good God. Does anyone believe that these are drones or that these things flying all over the world, not just in New Jersey? And what are they doing in New Jersey anyways? Not just in New Jersey, but are they drones or are they UFOs? And I love how they love to use the term UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, because that makes it better. There's that going on. We've got schools, politicians, Trump, everything. What do you guys want to talk about? I want to talk about power. Power. I'm not talking about the fact that the world is going nuclear, and I don't mean nuclear war, even though that is a potential. I'm talking about nuclear power, electricity, not that power, but the power to control and the power to tax and the power to lie and lie some more. Talking about politicians in Washington, D.C., folks. They won't give it up. Not even when it makes perfect sense. Not even when, their movement, their belief, their agenda can still carry on without them. They won't give up that fucking power because they're sick in the head. They're a bunch of megalomaniac, tyrannical assholes. And I'm going to point to one that before this election, no one cared. Before 2020, no one gave a shit. Before 2016, no one ever gave it a second thought. Mitch McConnell is what I'm talking about. This asshole, Mitch McConnell, has been in American politics in Washington, D.C. in the way, lining his pocket, empowering non-Republicans, non-conservatives in the Republican Party so they could give everything to the Democrats and the agenda of the New World Order, if you want to call them the World Economic Forum, if you want to call them the Bilderbergs, if you want to call them the elites, I don't care what you want to call them. These people are trash and they will not give up that power. Take that, me and you, as a prepper lesson, a patriot lesson, so that we fight, and continue to fight, because they will not give up no matter what. Mitch McConnell has phased out several times. He just fucking freezes and stares with that stupid hanging face. Fucking Turtles McConnell, that stupid look on his face that he usually has anyway, but he freezes with it. He is now fallen, folks. Fallen. He was doing a Senate lunch and wiped out. Now, this fucking guy won't give up the power. The same way Ruth Bader Ginsburg would not leave the Supreme Court despite having cancer and fighting cancer and knowing she was going to go down. She is just that freak of a human, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. 12-year-old girls should be able to choose how they have sex with. You know, whatever age they want. Yeah, it's up to them. They're 12, right? Symptomatic of the sickness of these people. Ruth Bader Ginsburg looked like some sort of church lady, librarian, but a psychotic anti-humanist, in my opinion. She wouldn't give up, died. Trump got to name her successor. Well, that was a win for us, at least. At least they didn't put in another idiot like Ketanji Jackson Brown or Brown Jack, whatever the fuck her name is, can't even define a woman, says that stopping transgender surgery on children is the same, likened it to stopping interracial marriage. Just like dumbass Sotomayor said, well, transgender surgeries are dangerous, but so is taking aspirin. Really? That's these people. Look, Mitch McConnell fell on his face. I wish he had landed on his face. I'm sick of these people. All they do is they want power and they want to control you and lie and enrich themselves. They don't have a life outside of fucking everyone over. Folks, it has hit the fan and it's going to keep hitting the fan because they will not let go of us. If McConnell was respected, not just respected by me and you, but respected by Congress, everyone wouldn't be laughing and jeering at him. If the Senate Republicans had balls or guts or spines or brains, they would remove this walking, semi-animate corpse. Fuck him. He is the perfect example of why politicians should not have lifetime careers. There should be term limits. In fact, a senator recently has tried introducing a bill to hold Supreme Court justices to 18 years on the bench. Well, that's only 3 terms for a senator, and they go 5, 6, 7, 8 terms until they're dead. How about all politicians have term limits? All of them, folks. All of them. Mitch McConnell doesn't serve the people. He doesn't serve the people who gave Trump a mandate. May Mitch the bitch land on his head and it pops off and rolls down the sidewalk. There's no good use for this guy. And the people that help him stand up out of a chair and walk across a room and get in front of a podium and keep injecting him with whatever drugs they inject him with to keep him animated. They're beyond guilty of elderly abuse and, as far as I'm concerned, treason. Because I'm sick of these people. What they do has nothing to do with what's good for America. Not a fucking thing, folks. Not a fucking thing about them is good. Woo! Okay, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm on fucking fire. You bet. Comments down below, please. We are going to get to you guys on this Tuesday as soon as I get done with my monologue. Well, back to it, folks. What do I have next on my agenda to discuss? How about the alleged United Healthcare CEO killer? I say alleged because I don't know if this is the guy that did it, right? Luigi Mangione, right? Got pulled out of a police car while wearing his orange jumpsuit and handcuffed. And he decided he was gonna let loose. He's gonna let loose. He yelled back at the press. He declared this case to be, quote, completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people. Tell you what, I agree with him. I think this entire situation is an insult to the intelligence of the American people. Number one, people on the left, people on the right, people in the middle have had it with these multi-mega millionaire CEOs sticking it to everybody. When I say sticking it, I don't mean one finger. I mean the whole fucking hand. They're sick of these people. I don't want to encourage this. I don't want to say it's good, but we're sick of these fucking people. All of us. And I get it. Right? They are completely out of touch. I get it. These fucking people are out of touch. And it's an insult to the American people to believe that there isn't more to this than some lunatic left-wing guy who was sitting down eating hash browns when he was arrested in McDonald's, right? And it wasn't Trump that turned him in. Now, he wasn't the McDonald's employee. But the whole thing's an insult to the intelligence of the American people. The evidence, everything. And this guy, folks, allegedly, apparently, He didn't even know what charges he was facing prior to being in court and being arraigned. I mean, he's definitely a liberal, but he seems to be a tarded patsy. He's like Sirhan, Lee Harvey. He's that type of candidate. He's confused. He doesn't know what's going on. He's a kind of a wacko, an outcast. He's just an odd duck. What do you guys think? Did he do it? Is he being framed? Is he a patsy? Is he a stooge? Is he mind controlled? We've all got questions, and guess what? We will never get a straight fucking answer. Just understand that. Understand that. I don't want to glamorize what the guy did and say it was right. It's not right. Murdering is not right. But how do you fix a system that's broke? You can't. Right? You can't. When your car breaks down, you can't just make parts right on the side of the road. You have to just give up on that fucking thing. Right? People have been trying to fix this system for years. Obamacare was not an attempt to fix, by the way. Obamacare was an attempt that was successful at taking over the American medical system and ruining it. Ruining it. There's going to be a lot more on government-created ruination coming out in the next several months. Trust me on that. When Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy get their Doge, their doggy, their Department of Government Efficiency going, we're going to find out a lot. And I hope it's a lot more than even I am prepared for. I hope we're all shocked out of our flip-flops. I hope we are all stunned so that I can't believe that. I want that kind of shock at how government wastes, government controls, government screws us. I'm ready for it. Let's do it. Let's have some fun, right? They're saying people are going to be shocked when they learn about politicians on the P. Diddy, Jeffrey Epstein list. Those lists need to come out, folks. They need to come out. They need to come out big time. I mean, these people in government, it's all about control, right? In fact, the top Democrat on the so-called ethics committee in Washington is, well, she's been revealed by The Hill, as the leaker of the Getz report. That's right. According to The Hill, Democrat Congresswoman Susan Wild is the leaker. Isn't there a crime in here somewhere? Leaking information that's not supposed to be leaked. And if that's not a problem, well, then leak everything else so we understand. No. They don't want to leak that kind of stuff. Only people they need to shit on. Right? That's how this goes, folks. It is a torrentially just stupid Tuesday. A lot coming out of Washington and other government. In fact, I believe fat ass Fannie Willis, district attorney down in Fulton County, Georgia, Atlanta, has been told, you will give us all your paperwork, all of your emails and communications between you and your office and Washington, D.C. and prosecutors. And guess what she's doing, folks? She's told them no. She told them essentially, go screw yourselves. Not going to happen. Not complying. Why is she not being handcuffed and drug into jail, take a fucking mugshot and throw her ass in a jail and advise her of her rights? Because she is in violation of a legitimate government order. Why can the government violate orders and there's no consequence? Why can the government violate your rights and there's no consequences? There needs to be a Department of Government Accountability where they can be held accountable and tried for crimes, the violation of civil rights, the violation of constitutional rights, the violation of the law. They know what the law is, folks. They don't give a fuck. That's what's going on. That's why it is hit the fan, because of power that they don't want to give up. And people like Susan Wild, Democrat Congresswoman, who wants to just screw other people over. It's incredible, folks. Absolutely incredible. What do you want to talk about? What is on your mind? Your mind. Now, look, we're supposed to have diversity, equity, inclusion. You and I, conservatives, we want the best people for the job, the smartest people, the most dedicated people, the most, well, people with integrity. Is that too much to ask for? Well, Trump has now nominated a woman named Harmeet Dillon. And if anyone wants to say and criticize me for mispronouncing names, too bad. I don't give a shit. I do it on purpose most of the time because I think it's funny. Anyways, Harmeet Dillon. She is going to be the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the DOJ. By the way, she's a Sikh, and that is a particular religious group, not Muslim. Sikh are from the nation of India, typically. But she's Sikh. She is a woman. She is a person of color. Has a good tan. And by all reports, she's very conservative. Do you think Democrats are going to be able to object to her? Hasn't she checked enough boxes under the diversity, equity, inclusion? That's all window dressing and bullshit, folks. They're not going to like her any more than they're going to like Alana Habba or Kash Patel. She's not going to like any of them. The thirst to hold on to power in D.C. Do you think all of these old racist Democrats are going to like all of this going on? No, they don't. No, they don't. And by the way, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is saying some of the most ridiculous, asinine, stupid shit that you've ever heard. Ever. I think she's jealous of all the attention that that Camel Toes Harris got. I think she's very upset that she lost the limelight for such a long time over who could possibly be that stupid. Well, AOC is reclaiming her title, folks. We'll look into that a little bit more. And speaking of stupid, let's now move to the international level, shall we? In Ukraine, the leader there, who has made it illegal to criticize him, his decisions, the government's administration, the military, anything about the government. The man who has made it his prerogative to cancel elections because, well, he's in charge. They want to call it a democracy while they cancel elections, arrest people, confiscate their money, and arrest church leaders. And not to mention, they arrested an American journalist and murdered him. Well, that's nothing compared to the amount of ethnic Russians they murdered in Ukraine. These Zelensky and his cohorts are evil. Pray that we don't get people like that in this country, folks. We were this fucking close to having a full-on partisan war in this country if Kamala had won. We were that close, folks. That's exactly what Zelensky is. He kills people he doesn't like. He takes their money, locks them in jail, arrests them, murders them. Sounds a little like Washington, D.C., does it not? You go there and break the law, they'll throw you in jail for fucking ever. Make up crimes, not give you a case, torture you, sicken you, make sure you're close to dead, if not dead. For what crime? None at all. Ask the J6 prisoners. Ask them. So Zelensky, folks, who has taken $200 billion, who is said to have a $16 million home in my state of Florida, and how many billions of dollars in secret bank accounts? This little turd is now calling for a diplomatic settlement to the war with Russia. And he wants, get this, folks, he wants this. He wants foreign troops deployed into Ukraine as part of the settlement. What a fucking idiot. I'm glad that this is going to be over, because the odds of that war, or if you will, under international rules, it was a special military operation, an SMO. Well, people were dying. I believe over 1 million Ukrainians died. In fact, I saw a video the other day of Ukrainian military capturing people on the street, throwing them in vans because they were being recruited to go fight at the front line. Anyways, Ukraine is losing. But Zelensky thinks he can define and dictate the terms of the end of hostilities in the special military operation. It's called surrender, Zelensky. You don't get to fire missiles into Russia and then say, let's talk, shall we? I want to stop now, and I want to tell you what I want. We're going to find out how far this stupid goes, folks. I cannot see Putin or Medvedev or any of the Russian bureaucrats or officials giving anything to Zelensky. I do know this for a fact, though. We will be lied to, as the American people will be lied to. And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see an escalation in this war before Trump gets into office. The Bidens are doing everything they can to bring us to the brink of war. It is beyond a shame, and I think it is beyond criminal. It really is criminal. Boy, I tell you, there's a lot coming, folks. I don't think we have begun to see any of it. Now, borders are, and I still don't like calling him a czar, the border bureaucrat, the man in charge, the man appointed by Trump, Tom Homan. He is warning states that refuse to comply with federal rules, federal policy. He's warning them, folks. And I want him, Tom Homan, to keep threatening these government slime balls, mayors, governors, anyone within the states. I want him to keep threatening them with arrest and jail time and prosecution. I want him to keep threatening these slime balls. I want them to tremble with fear, the fear of being arrested and sent to the anal fun zone in prison. Because in this case, according to the Constitution, this little book right here, the United States government does have a legitimate purpose and job that the states agreed to through the union. And that is the federal government is responsible for securing the border, and anyone who violates that security, that border, falls under federal jurisdiction. We have one hell of a shit show ahead of us. Folks, Governor Pritzker in the state of Illinois, he tried talking tough today. He tried talking tough, saying, you'll have to go through me, or some bullshit like that. Well, as fat as he is, as rotund as he is, he will bow out of the way or get knocked on his big fat ass instantly. But I want the government to be held accountable. I would love to have a government of Department of Government Accountability. I'd love that, DOGA, and start arresting these people and charging them with real crimes. Real crimes, kind of like this. Did you know that schools are going to continue to secretly, behind everyone's back, parents, talk to their children and convince them that, yes, they need to switch genders, that, yes, they're not really boys when they're boys and they're not really girls when they're girls. They're refusing to teach, and instead they're indoctrinating with an agenda that is anti-child. So a federal court has ruled that is perfectly legal. that parents, well, you can't stop school policy. You can't. The Supreme Court refused to take up this case. Now, in defense, Justices Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, and of course, the man, Clarence Thomas, those Supreme Court justices would have granted the petition, meaning they would have heard the case. But I guess they were outvoted by the others. Apparently, they grabbed 4 other SCOTUS judges to deny it. They refused to bring this and have a decision, knowing that thousands of schools across the country are mentally fucking up kids who can't make, well, proper decisions for themselves. They can't make other decisions for themselves, like drinking, driving, gun ownership. How many things are children prohibited from doing? Having bank accounts, having what? Until you're 16, a driver's license. You can't own real estate property. You can't do all of those things, folks. But schools are allowed to secretly encourage lunacy against a parent's potential objections. See, I see this as child abuse, what these parents or these children are having teachers and school administrators do. It's child abuse and child endangerment. And I think it should be prosecuted on the grounds as such. And that's where like a Department of Government accountability would come in. If they tell children, this is a good idea, and the child does it, right? They are physically, chemically, psychologically neutered. They're mutilated physically. They're mentally traumatized by this agenda. That is an abuse. And being told, yeah, that's fine, go get changed over. That's endangerment. That's child endangerment. They're putting them in a position where they're going to make decisions, and parents are being told they have to do it. Look, either as a parent, you're responsible for your child or you're not. Like if my kid, while a minor, does something wrong, I am financially responsible to pay for the damage they've done. Yet as a parent, if I were still a parent of a minor, I would have no say in what my child was being taught. And when it comes down to it, get your fucking kids out of these public schools. Get them out. Because your kids, if they are being indoctrinated, will lie to you. Lie to you about what they're being told, what they're being taught, what they're being indoctrinated with, what to believe. They'll lie to you about it all. One of my sons did that, lied to me about all kinds of shit that was being done in school. Because, got to protect dad. Essentially, what he knew is dad would go do something about it. Now, in Romania, folks, in Europe, they need a Department of Government accountability there too. Did you know that in Romania, they canceled their election because the guy that the European Union didn't want, the guy that NATO didn't want, the guy that the power brokers in the European Union didn't want, he was winning 2-1. It was a fucking blowout. A strong Romanian conservative was winning big. So they stopped the election and canceled it. You know why? Because the candidate who was winning threatened U.S. weapons and the pipeline to Ukraine. Right? They want to push weapons into Ukraine. He was threatening that. He would have stopped it. So threatening peace is grounds to cancel a sovereign nation's election? It's mind-boggling, folks. That's not democracy. I thought democracy was listening to the people. And when they say they want something, you got to give it to them because you know the people. Folks, the European Union is a tyrannical, evil organization. Dr. Evil from Austin Powers movies would be embarrassed at how little he's actually done compared to the European Union, Washington, D.C., the Vatican, London, Buckingham Palace, Paris, etc. They would be, he'd be embarrassed at how efficient these psychopaths in government are these days. I'll tell you what, folks, it's that time of day. It is now time to hear what you guys want to discuss. It is Tuesday. It is December the 10th, And I want to thank everyone who is here live with me on the preparedmind.club and subscribestar.com. We're going to have some fun. Let us do it now. Well, okay then. Okay then. Uh-oh. The Fulton County Superior Court has found Fannie Willis to be in default. Just what the hell does that mean, right? We already knew that. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. In default. What are they going to come? They're going to come take her house, take her car. Default of what, right? She's refusing to hand over the documents in an open records lawsuit. She's refusing. She needs to be arrested. I want accountability of these fucking people. Accountability. Hey, Mr. Uman, let's do some of you guys and your questions out there. And I know, Uman, you got some things to say of your own. And Chin Music says, does Hawk from BLM know a black man was helping Daniel Penny restrain Jordan Neely? Chin, I have not a clue if Hawk knows anything other than race baiting, playing the race card, racial division, or how to count to 3. I don't know if he can count past 20 if he doesn't have all his fingers and toes out. Hawk, that's his name, went to the microphone after Daniel Penny was found not guilty. Now, folks, they had basically they couldn't decide if he was guilty of manslaughter or no, was it second-degree murder? Whatever it was, not good enough. So the judge, in violation of his own order, he told the jury, there's not going to be any other way we're going to look at this except for the top crime. So then he changed his mind and said, well, let's see if you can find something else he's guilty of. The fucking jury was like, that's not the other orders. You changed your orders. Anyways, they came back and said, no, not guilty at all. Done. And so not guilty. And then Hawk goes off like an idiot in front of the microphones, tells people we need vigilante justice, tells people we need to get, just the racial bullshit, folks. And whether Hawk knows or doesn't know that a black man was helping Daniel Penny, a white man, restrain a psychotic man with a criminal record that you couldn't count on your fingers and toes if you counted them all twice. I believe it was 42 separate crimes this dumb bastard has been accused of. Well, he's now a dead dumb bastard. Jordan Neely. Chin Music says, yes, he knows, but he's a race-baiting piece of shit trying to extend the grift. How is it what he said is not inciting violence? It was inciting violence. It was inciting criminal behavior. It was off the hook, in my opinion. And yes, people protested. And then people got violent. And then people looted stores. How many of those stores that were either smashed in or looted, how many of those were black-owned businesses, black-managed businesses, jobs that employed black people that are now going to probably be shut down? We're not going to make money weeks before Christmas, not to mention all the white people, too. It is inciting violence. It's a crime. He's not demanding that the government be held accountable. That's not what Hawk was demanding. I want government accountability. What he was saying is, you need to teach these white people a lesson. In fact, there was another little snitch bitch there, this little broad screaming that, we're tired of this white stuff. These damn white people on the jury. I believe the jury had a bunch of women and also, I think, 4 black people. Found him not guilty. Facts. And the prosecutor, her ethnicity was brought into question, and having lost a penny was the crime she committed. That's a very, very, very silly joke, which we used to always have. We used to always have race jokes, age jokes, gender jokes, and we could laugh at them because we could laugh at ourselves. Once again, folks, I grew up and Polish jokes were always off the hook with my family that, well, hailed from Chicago. Chicago, yep, lots of Polish jokes. Anyways, tell you what, Chin, we haven't seen the end of this, and I'm expecting to see a lot more. They want this racial violence. They need this racial violence. They want the summer of love to become a winter wonderland of flames and violence. They want to hand this incredible domestic shitstorm right to Trump. Right to Trump. Unbelievable. Hey, Chin, thanks, man. And send me a message. Did you get your package? Uman, who do we want to bring up onto the screen next? And it is Cyberhana, who says, I hear Malibu is on fire. I live south of PCH in San Pedro. Loved Topanga Canyon. That's being evac'd too. I don't know anything about the Malibu fire currently. I don't. Is it the Santa Ana winds, or is it a directed energy weapon? I don't know. I really don't know. San Pedro, folks. I thought that one's up north. I'm thinking of another one. Anyways, folks, LA is an interesting place. If you ever get to the West Coast, it's a big place. And when you look at the map that says Los Angeles, that's really what I'd call everything south of the Grapevine and north of San Diego, Los Angeles. Anything north of Camp Pendleton is Los Angeles. Crazy stuff. Oh, man. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Well, Malibu is on the beach, folks. Malibu is high dollar stuff. Several days ago, or was it a couple weeks ago, right after the Trump election, I think about a dozen houses caught on fire in Beverly Hills, was it? Mansions burning to the ground. So a lot of weird shit going on. Kind of like these drones. Apparently, people fly their little personal drones up to them. And when they bring their drones within range of these mystery drones, mystery UFOs, they disappear. They become invisible. They're not being able to be tracked by radar. There's a lot of reports on this stuff. And I'm really starting to wonder what the fuck is going on. Is the government revealing that they have the ability and the technology to fly drones around that can allow themselves to be detected or not? We're going to find out. I think come hell or high water, we're going to find out, folks. Really. I can't say that as when I was in the employ of the government, I couldn't tell you a whole lot about the secret government programs. They kept those secret. All right. Let us continue, shall we? Mr. Uman, what else do we want to discuss? What is on the minds of you guys? And the question is, whose government are we for the UAPs? Yeah, whose government are these? Are these our government turning them loose on us, scaring us, trying to fool us? Or are they Chinese? Remember, the Chinese did the balloons. Balloons way high up in the sky that are supposed to be floating along air currents, somehow over the state of Montana, over the site of nuclear weapons silos. This balloon managed to float in one place for days and days until it blew on past and then Biden finally decided, and Secretary of Defense Lloyd the Loser Austin, that they would shoot it down over the Atlantic. We don't know if they shot it down or not. A lot of suspicion that was a Chinese balloon, drone, or unidentified aerial phenomena. Whose government? Whose government? I'm thinking maybe the government of Shambhala. What do you think of that? It came from the inner earth, which is being run by reptoid aliens, and it's theirs. Yeah, we don't know. Russian? I saw a drone, some drone footage the other day. There was a Russian taking a breeze. He was leaning back on the ground and having a nap, I guess, some kind of Russian siesta, lunch break. And he was looking up at the drone. The drone dropped a fucking grenade on him right in his lap, literally in his lap. The dude picked the grenade up, threw it, laid back on the ground flat. The grenade blew off. The guy resumed his lounging position, observing the drone. Tell you what, folks, this old drone thing is continuing to piss me off. Whether they're aliens or a government, whether they're large drones or little, apparently drones now are big enough they can just carry people off. And I heard an alleged conversation between two phones using AI. And they started talking to each other. And of course, the first thing they wanted to do was wipe out humanity. Very interesting shit. What a fucking crazy world right now. And it's Christmas time. I want to say Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas to all. That right there, my little Christmas icon. And up and until Christmas Day, I'll be using my ho, ho, ho introduction to start all videos because I like it. This should be a time of joy and cheer and unity amongst Americans. But our country has never been more divided, and it's going to continue to be. Even though there are a few people, there's, I guess, a judge in Texas has decided he wants to be a Republican because long ago the Democrats left the plantation of intelligence and went to stupidity land. And apparently in my home state now, Florida, a state senator who is a Democrat has decided to switch parties. I'm very suspicious of these party switchers, folks. You don't just get to switch the party and vote for the things you like. This is what you're supposed to like. First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth and Fifth, Seventh and 10th. Stay the hell out of our business. That's the government rule. All right. Man, where do we want to go next? And he says, hey, Big Marge. Oh, shit, this was a big deal. Big Marge is, and he's calling her Big Marge. Yeah, she's really been fighting to gain back our trust, and maybe someday I, too, will once again call her Marge or Big Marge. And that would be Marge Taylor Greene, Congresswoman out of Georgia, Republican. She has been swatted multiple times. And Uman says she got swatted again yesterday. It was a bomb threat. A bomb threat. So the bomb squad responded to the call to go to her house and got in a crash. Hit a car on the way and killed a woman. The bomb squad killed a woman in an effort to get to Marge Taylor Greene's house. Uman says the person making that threat should be charged with murder. Murder? Does murder have to be intentional? Or could murder be as a consequence of one's actions? I think they called that manslaughter. In any event, however it works, I think the person who did this should be charged with multiple crimes, right? Making false reports, of course. Bomb threats, of course, are illegal. Death threats, of course, are illegal. Causing, misuse of public funds in an effort to have someone killed or potentially be killed. The whole thing is off the hook. But Marge Taylor Greene is not the only one who's being swatted. The other swat is to say, oh my God, at the neighbor's house, there's guns. I hear threats. People are screaming. I think I hear gunshots. And the police show up. It's called being swatted. Well, the SWAT team, Special Weapons and Tactics is what that stands for. The CERT teams out there, right? They show up fully dressed for combat at civilians' homes. And they end up killing people from time to time. And certainly, I don't want to answer the door or have my door kicked in by a bunch of dumbasses who are responding to someone's call. So I tell you what, it's a problem. And it's not just Marge Taylor Greene. It is all of the Republicans who are in the headlines. And a lot that aren't, that you've probably never heard of. Because I'll tell you what, some of these I've never heard of. And they're being swatted All the people are being threatened or bomb scares or swatted or having powder that could appear to be poison sent to them, their offices, their homes. Their families are threatened. Their children are threatened. Their spouses are threatened. We're going to need some accountability, folks. Big time. Big time. And I love the fact that the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office, the FBI, massive numbers of lawyers are threatening to walk, quit, leave their jobs either on January 20th or even before, because they don't want to prosecute real criminals. They like their LGBTQIA, minor attracted pedophile jobs. They want to keep protecting pedophiles in government, pedophiles in schools. They want to keep doing that while attacking everyone else. Guess who else is being outed right now? Oh, other FBI, like the FBI that are dressing like white supremacists and neo-Nazis. That is being exposed. I want accountability. I want people arrested. The government sending agents to pretend to be terrorists to terrorize Americans. Crazy stuff. Folks, crazy stuff is going on. And it needs to be outed. It needs to be exposed. And top of that, folks, get this. Chris Wray, head of the FBI, is going to resign. He's going to resign even before Trump is inaugurated, before Trump is sworn in, before Trump takes control. 1 second. He doesn't want to be fired. He doesn't want that on his resume, I guess. No matter what, Chris Wray is going to get a great job. He'll be making 6 figures, maybe 7, speaking, working as a consultant. In other words, being rewarded for sucking up, kissing ass, turning his head away, allowing certain crimes to happen, punishing other things that aren't crimes. Christopher Wray should be investigating every fucking politician in D.C., regardless of party affiliation. Regardless. Every last one of them need to be investigated fully. Republicans, rats, rhinos, Democrats, socialist, every one of them. They should all be investigated. And if there's a crime there, they should be prosecuted. But I don't think we can trust the FBI. And that's the problem. We can't trust them. We can't. We can't trust them. My footrest keeps getting messed up. Chin Music says, think of all the money bags we will save on pensions and benefits. They won't quit. Who will hire them? Oh, and that's the killer part, Chin. You would think, you bunch of disgraced, bureaucratic lawyer, carpetbagging, shitheel losers. Who would hire you? Law firms out there, folks. Most of them are Democrat. Most of them are Democrat. The Legal Guild, the American Bar Association, is a left-wing, left-leaning legal guild that hates the fucking Constitution and does everything they can to overturn all restrictions. And as I discussed, I said, you know what? The Constitution is not an obstacle course for government. It is not a trial to see how they can get around certain laws and what loopholes are available and how they can trick people and abuse people and get away with. That's not what it's supposed to be. Everything in there is supposed to be a hard stop on government, not a soft stop and go around and take a detour and make sure you fill out more forms. No, it's a hard stop. Hard stop. These leftists, these attorneys, they don't give a fuck because there's no accountability. I want an office, a Department of Government Accountability that prosecutes every stinking politician in D.C. and at the state levels for violating our rights, for introducing legislation that is a violation of rights. The fucking Constitution is extremely clear, nationally and at the state level. It's not ambiguous. Are you telling me 250 fucking years after starting this country, we still have questions about the law and what is and isn't right? We haven't figured it out after 250 fucking years? We still don't know that parents create the children, raise the children, are responsible for the children, but they don't have a say in the children. And the government can take the children, and the government can send the children to be abused sexually. That's just what a fucking, we haven't figured that out. That's just one item. Yeah, I tell you, Chin, these left-wing legal organizations, name any fucking lawyer institution. Most of them are leftists, like the Southern Poverty Law Center. Well, that sounds so cute. The SPLC, yeah, the Southern Poverty. Oh, it's poor people. Oh, must be a good group. How about the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union? Oh, yeah. Yeah, where the fuck have they been for the January 6th protest? Where are they? Meanwhile, Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, right? That guy battles for the Constitution and for rights. They haven't figured it out, huh? They haven't figured it out. Oh, shit. Chin Music sent me a meme of Oprah doing the you get a car and you get a car and you get a car, except this is a you get a pardon and you get a pardon and you get a pardon. Everybody gets a pardon. You know why? Oprah, you look at every one of these pedophiles, suspected pedophiles, alleged pedophiles, potential pedophiles, P. Diddy gang, Epstein gang, Hollywood gang and elites. They're all pictured with Oprah. In fact, that witch, literal witch, Abramovic, that did the blood ceremonies years ago during Trump's first administration, when these people were being outed and caught, holding their sick little parties where they eat mock human flesh, cannibalism, and drink human blood. She was hanging out with Jay-Z doing some of her rituals, and those have been exposed, folks. They're being exposed. Accountability. Accountability. I want it. I want all these people caught. There are lawyers out there, folks, who would love to be part of the government and actually save this country. What happens, though? What happens to the good lawyers? Where do they go? Well, they get fucking disgusted by the system. That's why I dropped out of my legal studies. I was fucking disgusted by it. I thought, as a young man learning the law in my mid-20s, I thought, you know what? I'm going to know the law. I'm going to use it as a tool, the way a mechanic fixes a car, the way a contractor builds a house, the way a lumberjack uses a saw, right, to cut down trees. I thought I would use the law as a tool to free people. And I discovered knowing the law doesn't help. Being correct doesn't help. Understanding the principles doesn't help. Nothing helps, because it is lawless attorneys, lawless judges, and liberal juries. Judges, prosecutors, and juries. They're out to destroy this country. And that's why you don't hear a damn good thing about lawyers. And it's not to say that all people on juries are bad, but I know of enough of them that whatever the government says, that's what we do. Yeah. Government's always right. Good golly. Good golly, folks. I got to tell you. All right, let's do some more. Ooh, man, we got some jokes. Diving Frog says, I think in the future we're going to see a lot more CEOs getting taken out. I wouldn't be surprised. I think I've said for a couple of years, and not because I glamorize violence or encourage lawlessness, but said, know where the politicians live. Whether they're national politicians or state politicians or your local politicians, know where they live, know their addresses, because a time could come where they need to be held accountable, and they're going to try and hide. Know where they live and write it down. I don't trust the Democrats, though. These liberals, if they find out where people are at, they swat them. And if that's not good enough, they go to their work and they try, well, right here. that CEO got taken out. I agree, but I don't think it'll be right-wing people doing it. I think it's going to be lunatic left-wingers taking out CEOs and CFOs and COOs and every other kind of chief officer of corporations. Anyways, Diving Frog said, people are tired of the corporate technocrats. We are. We're tired of the Anthony Fauci's telling us, I just made up that 6-foot rule. I just made up that mask thing. I just made up the lockdown thing. I just made up the 2 marks. I just made up the flatten the curve thing. He just made shit up. He is not a scientist. I think he is a technocrat. Bill Gates, technocrat. Jeff Bezos, technocrat. Zark Zuckerberg, technocrat. For all purposes, George Soros is a technocrat, a legal one. He keeps funding all of these district attorneys. At the local small level where we live, he funds district attorneys as long as they are absolute for sale, shit-stained lawyers. He'll throw money at them to get elected. Because let's face it, whoever spends the most money in an election typically wins. Whoever has the most signs, the most FaceTime, the most interviews with newspapers, George Soros will help. So anyways, let's get back to Diving Frog. BlackRock owns how many companies? Well, I don't know how many they own, but they own big, significant pieces of hundreds of them. There's antitrust issues there. There's a lot more than that. I think the financial, economic, monetary, or in any way you want to put it, the threats that come from BlackRock, Vanguard, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, or any other financial and investment institution where they go to a company and say, you will do this, this, and that, or we are not going to buy your stocks. We'll sell your stocks. We'll cause your stocks to go down. We'll short your stocks. We'll naked short your stocks and ruin your fucking company unless you do what we say. That, my friends, is financial extortion. It's also bribery. Hey, do what we say with DEI, and we'll buy your stocks. And you'll get a big fat CEO bonus if you bring in a bunch of fruitcakes and fucking losers and freakish asshole Democrats and put them in the board. Look what happened to Jaguar, folks. They got a fishnet shirt wearing fool of a freak who's head of marketing, and Coca-Cola, be less white. Boeing got rid of them all. Walmart, they're getting rid of it. Get rid of it. It's like DEI is a retarded hyper extension of human resources. Just the worst Democrat thinking you could ever imagine on steroids. But yeah, that's these fucking companies. All right. Hey, Uman, I'm running out of time, man. What do we got? Uman says, I saw that Al-Qaeda now has its own commercial airlines. Says taking over Syria. That's right. Yeah, Syrian Airlines is now going to be owned by, well, basically the Syrian Taliban, the Syrian ISIS, whatever terror group they are. They'll probably change their name. Anyways, their version of the TSA will keep terrorists off the planes, right? Yeah. Their version of TSA will put terrorists on the planes. I don't think the United States of America should accept flights from Syria. Nope. Not even connecting flights. Nope. Nope. I mean, now they can just export them through it's beautiful. What a move. Terror error. Yeah, I tell you, man. Well, you know, the reason TSA, how about TWA, right? What is that? Is that Trans World Airlines? TWA gone. Right. Used to be travel with. I can't. How about Delta? Don't even let them aboard. All right. Yeah. I tell you what. Thanks, man. What do we got next? Something real quick. Let's do it. Nervous first-time passenger on the plane asks the steward, how often do these things crash? Stewardess replies, usually just once. And that's how that goes. Rim shot. Yeah, planes usually crash just once. How far can we go on one engine? All the way to the crash site. I landed in at least 2 planes that only had one engine going. 1 out of 2. And one time they landed the damn plane. It was just dripping fuel everywhere. So bad I could smell it in the fucking airplane. They took off and the fucking engine, right, started leaking fuel everywhere, shut down, and they landed it. Another one, yeah, we got out of Reno, made it about, I don't know, 50 miles south. Fucking plane went, ooh, like it hit the brakes. Yeah, 30,000 feet in the air, hitting the fucking brakes. Ooh. And then fired it up again, boom, and, turned around and limped it back on one fucking engine and landed it. Not a fun feeling. Not a fun feeling. It's kind of what America feels like right now, to complete some sort of metaphor. The country feels like it's hitting these brakes, boo, like we're running on one engine, right? Like we're just bleeding out, and we need to bring it down. We need to kick all the idiots off the fucking plane. We need to fix the problems and start it again, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind. I hope you are prepared, and I'll see you 0 dark 30 tomorrow. Ooh, man, and Jolene and I did several tests, and I think the broadcast troubles are corrected. So 0 dark 30 will actually have audio, and I'm sorry you didn't get to hear what I said. It was so impressive that I wanted to watch it myself. In any event, folks, look, get ready. This is a serious world we live in now. Very serious. Watch your backs, watch your front, watch everyone you know. Be careful. Be careful and get prepared. Bye.